Hello and welcome to Utterly Geek, your weekly video game news podcast. I'm Darren Bell. I am joined this week by Chris Walczyk and Steven Petrella. We're
Hello.
here to discuss some shit.
BlizzCon.
BlizzCon. This is your
Yeah.
BlizzCon spectacular. All of the exciting things announced at BlizzCon, starting with Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. Woo!
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
they announced a new Diablo game. It was the big showboat blast out at the end of the show, and it's a mobile game of Diablo,
Mm-hmm.
which people are upset about, which I can understand to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I did not watch the actual shit show that is. I always see just the headlines for BlizzCon.
Okay.
So did anyone actually watch the Q&A or anything?
So I didn't watch it in its entirety, but I did watch the whole presentation of when they presented it. I watched pretty much all. It was basically like the last thing of the BlizzCon opening. That was the thing that they left with, was Diablo Immortal. But the whole time while they're talking about it, they're like hyping it up. They're like, yeah, we're ready to like get ready to like kill more demons in Diablo, and people are like, yeah, all right, and they're like, now you'll be able to get more connected than ever to play with people, and people are like, okay, cool. And then he was like, on your fucking mobile phones, and then it just like went quiet the entire time. And then he was like, check out this cinematic trailer, and it was like this like fully like, you know, Blizzard-esque cinematic trailer, so you know that looked good. But then it was like but then they started showing, like, talking more about it, of like how it is a mobile game, and it was just the entire time it was just dead quiet. And the presenter who was up on there, god damn it, I can't think of his name. I've seen it like a million times this whole week. But he's basically one of the production designers or something of Diablo, and the entire time he was just like fumbling with his words. He like sometimes just would like straight up stop saying something, and then like would be a total loss of words, and then had to regain like traction as to what points he was trying to make. And during those entire segments, like when he just went dead silent, it was like an E3 moment where it was just dead fucking silent. Like there was not a single sound throughout the entire time. And yeah, he kept going on about saying like, yeah, this is a mobile game, like an experience that you've never seen before on a platform, blah blah blah, all this shit. And yeah,
Which all ended up being a lie. I mean,
yeah,
people have dug in. It's a reskin of an existing game that was created as a Diablo reskin.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't like the Q&A was kind of more for because it cut out there, because I watched it and then it cut off there. But what I saw, I guess what was for like BlizzCon people who bought the BlizzCon digital tickets or whatever, you know, they could watch the Q&A, and that's where people were recording the whole thing of like those two guys, where one of them asked like, hey, is this seems like it's kind of like on the Diablo 3 engine, is it ever going to come to PC? And they were like, no. Not that they said no right away. They did the whole PR thing where they were like, well, it's coming out to iOS and Android systems, but no, we don't plan on releasing it on PC anytime soon.
There are currently no plans.
Yeah. Which then the crowd booed at, and then their knee-jerk reaction was, what, you guys don't have cell phones? Which was like...
That was... okay, so that's the context of that.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And then the other like notable question that was asked was, it was a guy who said like, hey, is this an off-season April Fool's joke? And like that's all he said. He left it at that, and like everyone went fucking wild. Everyone was cheering and everything for that question. And then like they were just like, no, it's a game that's happening. You'll see it coming soon. Like all these things. It was just like it was so just fucking. Oh boy, it was a train wreck.
Yeah.
Right. And they deserve ridicule, rightfully so, because they were hyping this up going into it.
Yes, yeah, they kept saying like all before BlizzCon, they were like, "Hey, we got news for you Diablo fans for like coming to BlizzCon, and we have big announcements." So everyone's like, "Holy shit! Okay, finally something that's fucking good." But then they fucking end the opening ceremony as their showstopper with this fucking thing.
Yeah, they just fumbled messaging left and right.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue is like I think it's fine that they wanted to make a mobile Diablo game. It's just the way that they announced it was just so fucking ridiculous. It's like a mobile game is a game where you're like, hey guys, we got something else in the making, but we want to tide you over with this. Here you go. Here's a little peek at it.
Look at Bethesda.
Yeah, you know,
Elder
you don't
Scrolls
hype
Blades.
Yeah, you never don't hype a fucking mobile game.
Yeah.
Unless immediately following they had a stinger teaser of something for Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way that pill could have been swallowed nicely.
Which apparently, according to, there was a report from Kotaku earlier today that said they had plans on announcing it, but I guess they said that it wasn't ready to show anything. And I guess they don't consider just showing like a
title
and then saying now in development, like they don't think that's worthy enough of an announcement. So
yeah, but when you're looking at these venerated franchises, like it's amazing that we see two polar opposite approaches to the exact same problem with Bethesda and the Elder Scrolls, which has been dormant since Skyrim.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we want to make an Elder Scrolls mobile game. Here's Elder Scrolls Blades. And everyone's real anxious and nervous about it because, we haven't seen a proper Elder Scrolls game. And then at the end, just a stinger. Here's Elder Scrolls 6. It's coming. Yeah. And that makes everyone okay with a potentially shitty mobile game. Well, yeah, I just feel like someone in marketing at Blizzard doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They don't understand their fans.
Yeah.
If this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't understand their market.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, it's been plenty of times said where the real customers of the AAA gaming industry are the shareholders and not us at all.
And that's become painfully obvious over this past year. When you look at all of the big mobile games and a lot of the, I don't want to say pandering, but the catering of the content to reach a wider international audience. It's not being targeted toward America so much anymore. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but you do have to realize that you have to make everyone happy. I mean, look at what they've done with Overwatch. Overwatch is this big cartoony game that is widely accepted in all the different regions. And they have these holiday events, which can be catered for the different cultures. Because we have the Lunar New Year, which was one of the first seasonal events in Overwatch and one of the last conceived, according to various interviews with developers.
Yeah.
As a, hey, we want to get into China too, because they like video games now too.
Right.
And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but you have to navigate those waters in a way that everyone's happy at the end of the day.
I've probably watched those Q&A clips probably one too many times, honestly, just because it's like,
well, you're making up for me not watching them, so
yeah. Well, that and I just think it's so funny because I think they just didn't realize the immediate backlash that was going to happen even at BlizzCon, considering large majority of people that are there are PC users, and they just basically said, "Here's a mobile game" to all of them. Like, how do you think it was gonna pan out?
Yeah, and like it's Diablo. It's one of the most iconic point and click games ever made, and now, I mean, now it's slowly being taken away from that. So I think it's one of those things, kind of like, I mean, like we were talking about Skyrim. It's kind of like Skyrim, where they're just porting it to every fucking system, and you're just getting these remasters, and they're good. There's like, it's fine, but then the next game that you announce, so after you just port it to all these fucking six systems, the next game that you announce is a fucking mobile game.
Yeah.
It's just not a good evolution for Diablo. It just doesn't look good.
I mean, not just that, but you also have to think about, like, the last thing that came out for Diablo 3 was the Necromancer for $15.
Yeah.
One character for $15. And then,
if we're talking the PC version, yes, but they
Right.
did just put that Switch version out there, which
Right. Yes. I'm talking exclusively PC.
Yeah.
Like, that was the last thing that came out, was that. And then prior to that was their expansion that they had. But yeah, I like seeing the gameplay footage of it too. It was kind of like, man, there's really no reason that this shouldn't be some kind of expansion on PC. Like, hey, we know we've been in the dark and haven't had an expansion forever, but here it is. It's a prequel expansion, but like the Diablo 3 engine, but just like the storyline between 2 and 3.
Right. The weird thing is, I was watching some coverage of the Switch version of that, and apparently you don't have to play any of the story if you don't want. All of the high tier shit's unlocked from Go.
So
you
can
can
go
just
right
leap
into
in.
adventure mode. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go right in and start doing that high level stuff. So they know what people want out of a Diablo game at this point. If you it's frustrating. Where this very much feels like a business decision that was pushed forward at someone's advice. And that's all conjecture. Like, we don't know. They could have, honestly, it could have been like Fallout Shelter, where they legitimately wanted to make a mobile game. But I feel like if that were the case, it would be less similar to other Diablo clones out on the market already.
Yeah.
On the phone. So I don't know. I think they're tone deaf. And also they're trying to ignore, this is another headline we've got, they're trying to ignore the backlash by getting rid of dislikes and comments on the YouTube videos. And so how they've apparently been doing this, I did do some reading on this because I thought it was fascinating that they're removing dislikes. How do you do that? They have a whole bunch of versions of the exact same trailer uploaded, and they just disable them occasionally and switch out. So it wipes the slate clean.
Yeah, they just keep re-uploading the same video and posting, and then marking the other one unlisted or private or whatever. So it so it's so people can't view it anymore. Well, at least if it's unlisted anyway. Like, people can still have access to it if they have that link.
Yeah, and just today they switched the Diablo Twitter icon back to the Diablo 3 icon instead of the Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. Like, all across social media. It wasn't, I mean, it was across everything, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
I think they got the message.
Yeah.
They know people are pissed.
Yeah. I'd have a little bit more respect if they were just like, fuck it, keep the video up, keep the dislikes up, then later on just be like, hey, we just come out with an apology or whatever, or an explanation.
Yeah.
That you weren't ready, you weren't prepared for when people booed you on stage, because obviously those guys they're not preparing those dudes to stand up there and be ridiculed. These guys, they're just devs. They don't know, they're not prepared for that.
And that's the part that I do feel bad about, is people taking it out on the devs.
Right.
in that kind of a venue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I get it, you're upset. It's not the game that you want. It's a lot like the what was that? The Metroid Prime 3DS game that no
Oh,
one asked for.
Federation Force.
Federation Force, yes. Like in that kind of a case, it's like, okay, I don't like this game. I don't want this game. Then don't buy the game and ignore it.
Yeah.
You don't need to put together a petition to try to get them to cancel the game that they've been working on.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you start coming across as entitled and shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine line. Voice your dislike. No one's saying you don't have to do that. You should voice your dislike. And then don't buy it. And don't download it. And don't do a goddamn thing with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
End of story. That's how you vote. Vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from watching the videos, I think personally, I don't think like it was like such a huge, like such a bad reaction from the crowd. They just booed. Like it wasn't like people were like
fucking
you,
rioting.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was just people booing and stuff. And then you had the guy who was like, "Is this an April Fool's joke?" And to me, I didn't see that it was like I mean, I felt a little bit bad for the devs up there, but I didn't feel that bad because I think it was a fine reaction to people who are just like, "Hey man, you guys hype this shit up
Yeah.
for us, and it's a fucking mobile game."
Mm.
I'm just saying it's a fine line. And the problem is there will be death threats because that's the fucking nature of reality now.
That shit happens. I mean, but the reaction, I think at like that kind of stuff, no. But like I think them booing and voicing and saying, "Hey, this isn't what we wanted. You know, why are you guys doing this?" is fine. But yeah, I mean, if it there probably will be. If it goes that far, those people are pieces of shit. Yeah, just don't download it.
Right.
Don't buy into it. You know, like unless it turns out to be something awesome. In that case, you know, we were all wrong.
If it turns around and it turns out, hey, this is the Diablo 4 that we deserve, which is probably the actual reality, is that's the Diablo that we deserve as a people.
Pretty much.
Oh, God.
But there were some happy news bits coming out of BlizzCon. There's a new hero for Overwatch, Ashe. She's a part of a cowboy gang and a counterpart to McCree. It looks like there might be some romantic history there. They released a new animated short. She looks like a mobile sniper.
Yeah.
She's one of the only characters who can go down sights like Widowmaker, but it's more on a repeater, so it's less of a zoom.
Mm. She's
got a bundle of dynamite as an ability.
Yeah.
And her ultimate is to summon a giant robot named Bob that just wrecks havoc.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, she looks fun. She looks neat.
It kind of sucks it's another sniper, I will say.
Kind of, though. Like,
I guess,
I don't know.
I guess maybe it's more kind of similar. I don't know, like between being Anna and Soldier in a sense, with as far as like aiming
kind
things.
of. Yeah.
Or like the aiming is like kind of around between that middle ground.
Yeah. I don't know. She looks interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's more Overwatch.
Yeah. Hey, they're still pumping out good free content, so I'm all for
also,
it.
she's voiced by Jennifer Hale.
God damn it, I knew that sounded familiar. I was hearing the voice, I was like, God, it sounds familiar. Who the fuck is that?
Naomi Campbell herself. Femshep herself.
All right.
Princess Peach herself.
Yeah.
Cortana herself.
Yes.
So she's finally in Overwatch. They also announced Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is a remaster of Warcraft 3, which I briefly went back this summer and played a few rounds of Warcraft 3 against AI, and oh boy, that game looks dated. So out of any of their old RTS games, they definitely deserve a remake on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if it's the same level of attention and detail that they offered to the StarCraft remake, it'll be a
which I'm
good
sure it will be. Like, there's no reason
Yeah.
not to.
Yeah, they completely went through, remodeled everything, retextured everything. The trailer they put out really highlights all the differences.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked real nice. That might be one I'll be trying out again eventually. Probably not a day one purchase, but eventually we'll probably give it a shot.
Did they announce a price on that?
No, I don't think so.
It includes Frozen Throne, so all of the expansion content.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, that's what I was curious about, whether if it did include Frozen Throne or not.
Yes, it does, and it is also cross-compatible with people playing online on the original version, much like they did with the StarCraft.
Oh shit, that's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like a nice little package. If it's like the StarCraft one, it's probably $15 or $20.
Yeah.
So super cheap, and if you've never played, fucking Warcraft 3 is fucking good, man.
I would say probably between like 25 and 30 range, considering it's kind of like a more 3D RTS.
I could see them putting it at 20.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said, like 20 being the low end and 30 being more on the high end. I don't think 15, because 15 is definitely more of like StarCraft. Like, that made sense because it's like, okay, it's the original StarCraft, and yeah, like, even though it's like they updated the graphics, it's still like a really old mechanic. Like, mechanically and visually, it's still like
it's still sprite based.
Yes, exactly. And whereas like something like this, I feel like it's more, and considering if it's going to include the expansion, well, it did with StarCraft, but yeah, I feel like because it's a 3D RTS, it would probably be more in like the 20 to 30 range.
Right. We'll have to see what that ends up being, but it looks really cool. The only other real big news comes out of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Final Direct, in which they finally gave a full rundown of the final fighters that are going to be present. We got confirmation of Ken from Street Fighter and Incineroar, who is the final evolution of the starter fire Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon. Incineroar is kind of cool. He's a wrestling fire tiger who, after he lands any successful hit, taunts immediately. But it can be canceled, so it doesn't affect your play style. It's just a neat little flair. They went on to outline the DLC plans. There are 5 characters in development. They're to a point where they can't announce any of the 5 yet. But each DLC pack is $5.99. Comes with a character, a stage, and music tracks. But you can pre-order it in the Fighter Pass ahead of time for $25. That knocks one of them off. So one ends up being free. And I really liked this part. Sakurai says right at that point in the direct, if this doesn't seem like a good enough deal to you and you don't think that you're going to get your quality out of it, don't buy it until they're out. Because you can still buy the package after it's all been announced. Which is true of all of those DLC packs.
Right.
It's just interesting to hear a studio actually say these things.
Yeah, because usually people are like, what the fuck? I don't know. Like, they haven't announced anything. Why should I get the pack? It's like, or just wait.
Or just wait.
Just fucking wait. Like, literally anyone else does.
And then they announced one last fighter. Piranha Plant.
Sure.
Which is a literal piranha plant coming out of a pipe. And he can run with little feet that pop out of the bottom of the pipe. The Piranha Plant is a DLC character that will be free for a limited time if you pre-order and after launch. They haven't said the length of time after that launch.
Okay.
But if you don't pick up the game in that time frame, he then becomes a DLC character. They didn't announce his price. I don't know if he comes with a stage and music as well.
I think they said if you buy the game up until February 2nd or something like that, you can apply the code for Piranha Plant.
That's a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting move. I mean, I think they did that to get out of saying that this is a pre-order bonus. So they're like, hey, you don't have to pre-order the game. You can buy, because I think it's just if you buy it brand new within that
Yes.
allotted amount of time. And then it said something about when you get the code, you have until June 30th
To redeem it.
to redeem it.
That makes sense. And they're also running a pre-order bonus on the eShop right now where they'll double the gold coins that you get from pre-ordering the game.
Mm.
So instead of getting the $3 you would normally get, you end up getting $6. And that discount can then be forwarded on to the DLC pack. So instead of paying $25, you end up paying like $18.
Mm.
Which, okay. I mean, that's not nothing.
That's another character that's knocked off. So you're basically paying for 3 characters.
And that's a lot cheaper than the Soul Calibur character pack that only had 4 characters in it, one of which should have been
In there.
free. Yeah, built into the goddamn game because she was ready on day 1.
Right.
And I think this is a better DLC scheme than the Smash 4 was. What was the rate of those?
Oh god, I don't know. But that was also on a basis where it was like they were, as they were announced, they were given price points, but they didn't do like a season pass thing. It was just
No, they did not.
It was just like you had to buy them individually instead of as a whole bundle, which is really weird.
Did.
Which is why I didn't buy any of those fuckers, and now they're coming to Ultimate, and now I'm glad I didn't spend that money on any of them.
I bought all of them.
Yep.
Because I'm an idiot. And it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, it's a much more balanced and better pricing scheme than that was.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had the characters for the 3DS and the Wii U version, but then there was another bundle to get them on both simultaneously.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with Piranha Plant is very similar to what they did with Mewtwo when they first announced him as DLC. This was their big announcement of having DLC.
Right.
They basically just said, oh, by the way, here's Mewtwo if you want him.
Right.
And you'll have him for free if you bought it on both 3DS and Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. This is better. This is much better.
I guess it's I think the thing that's weird for me is that, like Steve was saying, it's basically a pre-order bonus without them saying it's a pre-order bonus. Like they kept avoiding the word pre-order bonus. They kept going around it. They just kept saying like, oh, if you get the game, you'll get this character for free, but it's only for a limited time. And I'm like, just fucking say it. Just fucking say it. Like, they don't want to say it because then that puts them on the same level as the gaming industry that, like, of people looking down on shit, on, like, fucking sketchy business schemes. And they'd be like, oh my god, Nintendo's fucking doing it as well.
But it isn't... If you look at it, it actually isn't a pre-order thing because you do have 3 months after it comes out to buy it and get it. I feel like this is the happy medium to a pre-order bonus versus...
It's locked once
something
it's
like
released.
From Ashes. Yeah. And they're not done with Piranha Plant because Piranha Plant will not be actually available until February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's why they're saying you have until that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just before Piranha Plant comes out that you can basically buy the game and then get him for free. But then once he comes out, if you buy the game, then he's DLC and you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I mean, I'm not that's just what I've read. I don't
That's
know.
what it sounded like when yeah.
That would kind of
From
make
what I
more
read.
sense.
So I mean, essentially it's not
You're
a pre-order bonus, but
you're
still...
pre-ordering Piranha Plant inherently by buying Smash Brothers. That's your Piranha Plant. We're not buying Smash Brothers. We're all pre-ordering Piranha Plant. That's what we're really doing. Let's get down to brass tacks here.
I definitely feel that Nintendo tiptoed around it. They were like, okay, we want to do a pre-order bonus, but we don't want to call it pre-order. This isn't a pre-order, actually.
But also, also when you think about it too, it's fucking Piranha Plant. It's not like they held back fucking Mario
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh
or
yeah.
a mainstay character. It's a fucking Piranha Plant.
Yeah.
It's a traditionally immobile object that is suddenly a fighter that no one really gave a shit about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the perfect character for this dumb thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. It is. I mean, it is a Nintendo. It is.
It's a
more of
Nintendo-like solution.
Nintendo being Nintendo, where it's like, hey guys, we're gonna do something that's like something else, but we're not gonna call it that because
Yeah.
we can do this. It's just a
Anyway, we're back on cartridges.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. He looks like a fun character to play, and they are giving you a good chunk of time. And most people who are gonna buy that game are gonna buy it when it comes out, anyways.
In that 3-month period.
Have already fucking pre-ordered it, and whoever was smart enough to pre-order it before on Amazon before Amazon did
Before
the
they
whole,
removed it.
before they switched
I didn't have the funds, so I missed out on that window.
Yeah, I missed out on it too. I wish I fucking did it.
For which one now?
When
Before
the
Amazon closed
pre-order
off
Smash-
before they closed their deals where they take off like 10 or 20% off
Oh,
or
right,
something.
right.
As
20%, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Now
before they
it's like
closed
a
it.
$10 gift card or
Ugh.
whatever.
Yeah.
$10 Amazon credit. Which is
Yeah,
bullshit.
whatever.
Hmm.
Just
Fucking
locks you into their ecosystem. But
Yes. Buy more shit from Amazon.
yeah, but I can see, because you and I were talking about it, Wally, and you were concerned that it's coming across more as a manipulative type approach, potentially.
Yeah.
And I can see that.
Because it is a slippery slope because, like, I mean, we talked about it with a group of other friends, and they were all basically like, yeah, I'm okay with it. And it's like, you're not understanding the point I'm trying to make. It's because so many fucking people always went, huh, that's a weird thing. Oh, whatever. It's totally okay. And then, like, fucking next thing you know, like, the next game that comes out, it's like a bigger thing. And then people go, huh, that's weird. It seems a little bit more annoying, but whatever. I'll fucking get it. And it's like, God damn it. You're not understanding how it's like, it's getting worse and worse. And it's just eventually just going to get to a point where you get fucking loot boxes with a fucking fully fledged game and season pass and ultimate editions, but ultimate editions and fucking God damn it.
Well, Nintendo's kind of already done that with Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild had 3 different versions, but none of it was in-game stuff. It was all accoutrement and different thing around it.
Mm.
And when Nintendo has done this stuff in the past, it hasn't been ever really, oh, you get this in-game bonus thing up until Piranha Plant.
Right.
And I definitely see that argument, but I don't think Nintendo views loot boxes as a integral part of their home console plan.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
I really hope it never becomes that, because
they're barely starting to get the idea of the internet. So, give it another 10 more years and then they'll be like, "Oh my god, loot boxes. Jesus, we should do that." By that time it'll already be fucking controlled by the government.
Yeah, but like also they're just, like you said, just figuring out the internet, and their whole response is, "What, you guys don't have phones?"
No, that's the other one.
Well, Nintendo Switch Online.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Which they also went into in that Smash Direct. And it's like, this is the part where I tune the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, I feel that if Nintendo wanted to get into the whole loot box thing, Smash Brothers would have been the perfect game for it. And since they're not fucking doing that.
Oh my god, yeah. Their whole equipment system or spirit system.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been exactly the target for fucking loot boxes.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I could think that they would interject it into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Like, I mean, they could have decided, hey, let's give each character 15, just like kind of like an Overwatch thing where you give all these characters just different costumes that you can unlock in fucking loot boxes. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't do that. So the fact that they haven't done it, I'm sure Nintendo has no plans of ever doing it. Maybe
Wait a second.
it'll happen. But...
Hear me out.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Darren wants a Nintendo loot box.
He wants Nintendo best value. Nintendo best value.
I don't want it. But the cynical side of me says, well, they've got that Fire Emblem gacha game. They've got that Dragalia Lost RPG gacha game. What if they did a Smash Brothers Spirits gacha game? But you can link your Nintendo account and send your spirits that you leveled up from the gacha game back into Smash. That is how I can see them doing this. Because then it wouldn't be in Smash. It would be a separate app on your phone because Nintendo. It would be a separate game.
Also not part of their Nintendo online service app. Not part of that. It's just totally separate.
They might actually do that. I could see them doing that as a part of that to get people to use that fucking app.
No, I see it separate just because that's a more Nintendo thing to do.
True. True.
My point was that they wouldn't integrate it into that. My point was that it would be it was setting up to that they wouldn't be using it for that because of course.
Of course. But yeah, that was about it out of that whole Smash Direct. So we have our final fighter count, 70 fighters, not counting Echo Fighters, 75 counting Echo Fighters. You're going to have 81 characters after all the DLC.
Jesus.
No, 80 characters after all DLC. That's why I'm totally okay with Piranha Plant, because you're coming in with fucking 75 fucking characters.
Yeah, and that's why, like, you know, even despite me talking about like having the whole slippery slope and being like they're not really saying pre-order bonus, but I also look back at it and I'm like, dude, you're already getting like so much fucking content. Like, it really outweighs it. But again, it goes to that's that slippery slope where it's like, yes, you're getting all this content, but they're kind of also saying okay with it. So I don't know, but
yeah,
it's a double-edged sword with that, because it's like, yes, I could see both sides of that.
It's a weird ass middle ground.
Yeah.
Which I guess could be Nintendo's entire campaign slogan. A weird ass middle ground. I don't know. That'll be it for news. Why don't we kick it on over to emails? You can email us at utterlygeek@gmail.com. That's UTTERLYG33k @gmail.com. If you send them there, we'll answer them here. We didn't receive any, but you can also follow us on Twitter at utterlygeek. That's UTTERLYGEEK on Twitter. Wally navigates those waters, and will let us know when we have questions.
Pretty shallow. No
shallow waters.
No
we
waves.
Run ashore. No, oh God.
Just like Sea of Thieves. Anyway.
No. We don't talk about that one. We're also on Instagram at utterlygeek. That's UTTERLYG33k on Instagram. Steve captains that ship. And been doing a fine job. You can also watch us whenever we do this, which isn't too regular anymore, but we try to do it Monday nights at twitch.tv/CPTWally.
Hey man, we try to be consistent at least.
We try. The attempt is there, and we're here more often than not. Yeah, you can join in and comment on the show if it's respectful and on topic. We'll bring it up during the conversation. Otherwise, we'll answer your questions here at the end of the show.
Not Derp says Tony the Tiger in Smash, which means everybody is in there. Everybody.
Yeah.
He just throws fucking frosted flakes at you.
No, he screams.
That's got to be his Smash. That's got to be his final Smash, though. His final Smash has to be him yelling out, "They're great."
He fades down off the map, and then you just hear a low grumble, "They're great." Then he punches straight up through the stage
with Frosted Flakes flying, because they have to be.
Frosted Flakes flies off of everyone.
Yeah. Maybe a couple waves of milk go by as well.
No, see, because that would be Captain Crunch's final Smash. He would bring in his ship.
Okay.
And sail across the stage.
All right. We're
on
to something here.
All of his specials would be based off of the different types of Captain Crunch. So like his neutral is just regular Captain Crunch. It's just like a wave around you that cuts the roofs of everyone's mouth. His recovery is Peanut Butter Crunch because that's the best crunch. His side is
So what you're
Crunch
saying
Berries.
is we're making a cereal smash.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is gonna be a prize in fucking the cereal boxes again.
Yeah. Oh my god,
All
I
the
miss
Monster
those days
cereals.
where you just get a
Yeah,
fucking
me too.
CD and then you like pop that shit into your computer and you're like load that shit up.
Fucking Chex Quest, man. Whatever happened to that Chex Quest sequel that was supposed to come out like last year or a couple years ago?
It's gonna happen with fucking Cereal Smash, apparently.
Fuck yeah. Commander Chex coming to the rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, fuck Tony the Tiger for Smash. Let's just make Cereal Smash.
Yeah, I'm all
That's
for
what
that.
we need. Fucking Toucan Sam. All the Rice Krispie Snap Crackle Pops. They're like a
They'd be like
group.
ice climbers,
Yeah. Fuck yeah, they would.
but like 3 of them.
Yeah. And then you have all the monster cereals as separate fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that franchise. We're onto something. That's a brilliant idea. Shit, we got to make this before this podcast goes out so that no one steals our idea.
Yep.
And it totally wasn't your idea in chat.
Sorry, not derp.
Yep, that's our idea now.
Yep. You made this. We made this.
We made this. This is ours. And then the sequel is nothing but like fast food. Or fuck
God.
it, just toss them in there. It's all it's junk food smash.
Oh yeah.
Junk food smash. Let's do it.
Sure.
New releases is our last and final category, and here we go for your coming week. We start with Daracine coming out on PSVR tomorrow, November 6th. What is Daracine, you may I ask?
Yes. What is
It
that?
is From Software's PSVR game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Look
right.
out for some coverage of that. I'm really curious because they announced that at E3 and everyone's like, what? They're making a VR game? And now everyone forgot about it. That's only on PSVR.
Mm.
World of Final Fantasy Maxima comes out November 6th for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We also have the Overkill's The Walking Dead coming out November 6th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
I recently watched gameplay of that. It looks garbage.
Yeah.
Just hot garbage. Like, it's very much Payday 2 gun mechanics, but like somehow worse. Like, just it's just constantly like you're knocking down enemies and they ragdoll all around, but then they'll get back up, and it's like, okay, pretty sure I just shot that person square in the head. And if you like, I was also watching, apparently you can set up barricades, and if there are enemies within that area of you're setting up the barricade, they'll just disappear. They're just gone while you're in the middle of setting it up. So if you complete setting up a barricade, they just pop out of existence.
Fun.
So to give you an idea
Great.
of what kind of game that is, there you go.
Sounds like a great game.
Yep.
Almost like a Metal Gear Survive type game.
Yeah.
The Forest finally comes to PS4 on November 6th. Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom comes out on November 6th for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We see Ride 3 coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC November 8th. And Valiant Hearts makes its Switch debut on November 8th.
All right.
That is that World War I game.
Yeah.
That is not Call of Duty World War I.
Yes.
Or
Correct.
Battlefield 1. The other one,
Yes.
Battlefield 1.
Yes. Battlefield 1. Yes. Correct.
That'll be it. Next week, however, is a couple of big releases, which we will get to. A lot of big releases. Holy shit. Next week sounds like one of the last big weeks of releases of the year.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
I believe it.
Yeah. We will see you next week. Thank you for joining us.
Mm.
For those of you watching live, the social hour will be recorded at a later date. Stay tuned on all of our social medias. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us live, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
See you later.